then Finance Minister Manmohan Singh appointed M. Narasimhan to assess the post-liberalization era and how the banking system is struggling hard to cope up. So with these mandates in mind, they appointed Narasimhan Committee 1, and then in the year 1998, P. Chidambaram appointed Narasimhan Committee 2 to
same person was there 2 times.
Yes, sir. To document how much progress has been done and how much our banking system has been strengthened. So
and what reforms are required?
Yeah, what reforms are required? Okay. So sir, and the father of banking reforms, M. Narasimhan once said, and here I quote, "No reforms can be entirely painless. However, these pains are indeed important for the emergence of a viable and strengthened financial system in any country." Next slide. So these are the today our topic of the discussion will be entirely upon Narasimhan Committee 2 recommendations. So these are the broadly classified recommendations which were given by Narasimhan Committee 2, and most importantly, we need to recognize the fact that he have criticized the role of RBI very much in a way that, and he used over administered and over regulated. So step by step I'll explain. So this is prudential norms and disclosure requirements. So earlier, like before the committee recommendation, the real income of a bank or of a person would have stopped after 180 days of non-compliance with either interest or installment. But Narasimhan Committee recommended that no, you do it, you curtail the days by 90 days and do it in a phased manner. So this was about prudential norms. Then system and methods in bank. So there are, like in life, in society, same in the banking system also, there are mergers. Look, big banks and the small banks. So Narasimhan Committee strongly recommend that never big banks should merge with the small banks or the weaker banks. And he recommended 3-tier banking system, like 3 national big banks with international presence, 8 to 10 national banks, and at the below level, so many regional and local banks. And also for so many weak banks who have like 20% of their whole asset is non-performing. So for them, he recommended narrow banking aspect, where he advised the banks to keep their funds on risk-free assets and risk-free mutual bonds and everything. And also he gave a very great conclusion and very great suggestion that if your bank is struggling with the non-performing assets, you do one thing. You identify those assets. You identify the loss and the substandard accounts which are in the substandard category for 18 months. My friend will classify the NPA, but which accounts are in the substandard category for 18 months, you do it. You identify it and you transfer the fund to a asset construction committee. And then in addition to that, the asset reconstruction company will issue a bond to against all the NPAs to the banks. So these are the ways we suggested to fight against the non-performing assets. Okay, so asset quality, as I discussed, that a bank should have a great filtering and monitoring mechanism to identify which accounts can be defaulted in the future. Like earlier days, banks were failed to identify that these accounts may be defaulted. So a thorough and periodic monitoring mechanism should be there. That was suggested by M. Narasimhan. Then sir, structural issue, like often this thing happened that RBI is a regulating authority. Also, RBI has stakes in several banks. So he suggested that no, you give up your stakes to the government of India, and that's why, sir, according to his recommendation, in the year 2008, government of India acquired all the stakes from RBI of NABARD, SBI, and other big banks. So these are the some like severe recommendation, and now my friends will discuss more.